Morning, welcome back, you person with a face. Lean back, don't stand too close, you might end up getting mogged. By this video, sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that helps entrepreneurs, growing businesses, and everything in between stand out online. Build a website exactly the way you want, and take your business ventures to the next level. As an Asian child with stunted emotional development, words of affirmation aren't usually my thing. I like my affection shown in the forms of a thumbs up, or with a plate of cut up fruit. Although, hearing the words, "you look good" from time to time, damn. Don't be too surprised if I start kicking my feet, twirling my hair, and blushing. Stop. This compliment is just an all-around crowd pleaser that would make anyone's day, especially when they've put time and effort into looking their best. Hey, if Stanley Tucci gave me the full-on movie makeover montage treatment, where I'm all dolled up, ready to hit the town while wearing the Chanel boots? Yeah, I am. Hell yeah, I'm expecting Giselle Bundchen with glasses to look at me and say,
"You look good."
Unfortunately, not everyone's a main character who's best friends with a personal stylist with free access to high-end clothes. Good thing the internet exists, where you can learn pretty much anything for free. But free doesn't always mean good. Looksmaxxing communities had a huge surge in popularity a while ago, where you can learn how to optimize your physical appearance using different methods, typically recommended by conventionally attractive hotties who won the genetic lottery. It'd be your usual start a skincare routine, exercise, get a hairstyle that fits your face shape, but rebranded with an American Psycho type of vibe. We don't put on moisturizers or go to the hair salon, we skin max, body max, as we evolve into a Terrachad with low cortisol levels. A string of words in the English language that has not existed till this day. The Looksmaxxing trend did die down for a bit. I think people were able to see the good and the bad these communities were doing, specifically to young men. Good that it was teaching people better grooming habits, bad that it only focused on outer appearance with some bullying on the side. But Looksmaxxing seems to have had a resurgence recently, and it's worse than ever. Balls. Here we go again for real. Everyone working on their body tea rebrand this year. The only branding I know is when you make your own website using Squarespace. They really perfected this design intelligence thing. With 2 decades worth of industry experience behind their creation tools, it's easier than ever creating the perfect look for your brand. Since everything is based on your own vision, the final product is a personalized website tailored to whatever you need. And not to worry if you're not super creative, they have professionally designed templates ready to be personalized. Need a website to sell custom-made tuxedos for dogs? Or maybe you're teaching a cooking class on how to make matcha fried chicken and you need a place for people to sign up. Squarespace has all the features you need to stand out online on every device. Plus you can update your website whenever you want. For the next class, matcha fried ribs. In any case, you'll be able to grow your brand all on one platform. With a fast onboarding process that only takes a few clicks to get started, Squarespace Payments makes it easy to sell and process payments from customers. They even got options when it comes to paying: Klarna, Apple Pay, Afterpay, and more. Check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Edvasian to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks to anyone being able to say anything these days, content creators with questionable morals are gaining huge followings because of their Looksmaxxing methods. AI slop keeps spreading misinformation all over the web. Improving your looks is just brain rot activities now, turning people into Uncanny Valley JoJo characters who don't know how to socialize. Clavicular got mogged by another Looksmaxxer, and his cortisol levels went to the moon. Sure. Whatever, man. Everyone chopped in the head. In case you didn't know, Looksmaxxing refers to the active focus on improving one's physical appearance to its highest potential. Looksmaxxing can refer to a lifestyle, an activity, or self-care routine, or an entire community that prioritizes maximizing outer beauty. The lore around this term actually dates back to incel forums from the 2010s, where young, frustrated guys would vent about how women always gravitate towards conventionally attractive men, no matter how bad they were treated. Okay. Not a very nuanced way of thinking. Have you considered the fact you sit in front of a computer all day and haven't showered in 42 hours? Life isn't always a 90s high school movie where all the cheerleaders throw themselves at muscular jocks on the football team, who don't even make good bullies, by the way.
Doyle rules!
Thanks a lot, O'Doyle. Nice meeting you.
But maybe there's a touch of truth to their incel beliefs. Attractiveness can get you pretty far in life, to a certain extent, but man, I've seen people ignore every single red flag on the planet just because their date looks like a knockoff version of Henry Cavill. So there's this DL trade who slaps me around and steals from my purse. Yeah, but at least he's 6 feet with a square jaw and a full head of hair, Kinda like Henry Cavill if he worked in Walmart. The Looksmaxxing community believes that attractiveness equals status. Those with good looks are rewarded with women, jobs, friendship, and social acceptance. Those deemed ugly by society are bitchless and ignored. So Looksmaxxing began as a way for these men to try and improve their looks and therefore their status in society by turning into clones of the exact same chads they despised using their own form of incel beauty standards. So they can take revenge on the Stacys of the world and recreate this exact scenario. Tails? From Sonic? What are you doing here? So those were the old primitive roots of Looksmaxxing. Once we became modernized with the YouTubes, TikToks, and short-form content, these trends eventually became repackaged as young men's wellness content portrayed as self-help with a sprinkle of toxicity. Let me ask you this. What does every brain-rotted activity need? Slang. Don't worry if you're already confused, here's a quick rundown on some important stuff. A normie is your typical average dude who's attempting to Looksmaxx into a chad. The ideal masculine man all the guys idolize, who will then attract the ideal woman called a Stacy, who are always on the prowl for a chad, who will sometimes go for the average girl called a Becky, who usually ends up with a normie. Okay, this world building is giving Omegaverse fanfiction writers a run for their money. Mog or mogging is a verb meaning to overshadow or best someone, especially in regards to aesthetic or physical attributes. Softmaxing means simple grooming, skincare, exercise, and style changes. Hardmaxing is going more extreme, with cosmetic surgery, drugs, and dangerous DIY practices.
You should be starting to bruise a little bit just from those hits, right?
This all leads to the Looksmaxxing community's unofficial, unscientific guide to calculate beauty, the PSL scale. Pumpkin spice latte? No. Perceived sexual level scale? Duh. This is their favorite reference point to use when judging if someone's face is cooked or not. The scale uses objective and scientific ratings to calculate your attractiveness based on things like facial harmony, symmetry, sexual dimorphism, and the unique qualities to your face. I'm sure you've seen the videos of Looksmaxxers showing off their well-defined Chad jaws and unfriendly hunter eyes with positive canthal tilt. These two facial features, in this specific font only, are considered the most important since they're associated with masculinity and success. They're so obsessed with achieving that handsome Squidward aesthetic. They have forums where you can post your selfie and people will measure your eye angle to the exact degree. This is what it looks like. Peak Looksmaxxing. Actually, according to the PSL scale, Squidward's eyes are too round and delicate, low-tier normie at best. Any other facial features that stray from the strict beauty standard, like downturned eyes, a round, fuller face, recessed chins, are considered feminine and weak. There's no room for different types of faces. Everyone's gotta resemble a JoJo character reject, standing at a manly 8 feet tall. Speaking of anime characters with absurd-looking physiques, the PSL tier list looks like it came straight from a Dragon Ball Z character selection screen. From a scale of 0 to 8, you got your normies at 4, right in the middle. The common everyday person who's nothing special and as milquetoast as you can get. They make up 50% of the population. As you get higher on the scale, you get to see the Chad get hotter with every Pokemon evolution. Starting with the Chad Light 5. With a decent amount of attractiveness, they can use their appearance to launch a modeling career or get followers on social media. Makes up 5% of the population. The infamous Chad 6, with looks that give them an extreme advantage in various aspects of their lives, especially when it comes to attracting women. Makes up 0.1% of the population. Giga Chad 7, almost perfect specimens who make up 0.001% of the population. And finally, the elusive Terra Chad 8, mythical, unattainable perfection, universal attractiveness to every woman worldwide. They make up 0% of the population. Wow, everyone's so creative. This ranking system they made to rank people's attractiveness has a tier that's not even achievable. If you ask the Looksmaxxers what tier some of the most good-looking men in the world would be in, they'll probably put them at a 4, cause their face doesn't look like it's been carved out with a stone block. Fellas, is it gay to have a normal looking face? One of the main goals of Looksmaxxing is to attract women, right? Ladies, do all of you want to be with someone who looks like they're about to push you down the stairs? Unfortunately, according to this tier list, if you're deemed anything under a 4, you might as well give up now. At a low tier normie 3, your below average looks and unattractiveness will warrant bullying from others. A true cell 2 is so intrinsically ugly that no amount of surgery, exercise, weight loss, or any other form of self-improvement could ever make them more desirable. Then you got your saint tier 1s and subhuman 0s. these are too offensive to even talk about. Anyways, can't wait till I take a trip to Turkey and come back as a TerraChad 8, looking like I'm smuggling a brick with my mouth. Okay, so this PSL scale claims to be scientific, right? Then where are the studies? The science? The research? Well, that's the thing. PSL calculations are mostly based on vibes. As much as it claims to be objective and scientific, it's just observational pseudoscience. As the University of Portsmouth paper describes, Looksmaxxers attempt to validate the scale by using alleged scientific findings, including dating application surveys, misinterpreted academic research, and pseudoscientific graphs or data of questionable origin and accuracy, thereby presenting it as a scientific ideal. It's like a messed up game of medical telephone where no one actually has the credentials to be giving advice. A young teen follows a famous creator who makes Looksmaxxing content, who probably got his information from a Reddit thread, which very well could have been a repost of outdated information from 10 years ago someone just made up. Looksmaxxers do have a general outline of how you need to look to rank high on the PSL scale, but no two sources on PSL ever have the same statistics or definitions. Like those videos assigning PSL ratings to celebrities' faces, it's always different and just based on vibes and whatever they've seen on the internet. You ever notice in Looksmaxxing ranking videos where they rate facial features, the ones rated at the top are they're always the same. The ones you'd see on famous male model Jordan Barrett, whose pictures get circulated a lot within the Looksmaxxing community as the ideal face. But they still don't consider him a TerraChad. Eurocentric facial features are almost always at the top, while others... Let's just say there's an entire race of people who have this hair who don't get sunburned easily. Who even decided on these rankings? A 12-year-old? Well, yes, curry hair. Didn't know this ranking video was also a bad Yelp review on an Indian restaurant where someone found some hair in their food. Curry hair. 8 out of 10. A professional Looksmaxxer isn't a real job title, it's an attractive guy who fits the beauty standard, making beauty tutorials for guys. Michelle Phan for men, but toxic. And since we're not the best at fact-checking when scrolling through our feeds, it's very easy for rage bait to go viral. Literally anyone with a phone and access to AI can churn out slop like this. What do you think the comments are gonna be like when this type of eye gets rated as the second highest? Okay, I know I'm no Giga Chat or anything, but damn, couldn't you get your point across without slipping some extra E into my coffee? My lips have never looked more luscious. As with anything beauty industry related, Looksmaxxing capitalizes on people's insecurities. Those websites where you pay to get a professional facial analysis will always try to turn you into a version of yourself you can never achieve. Unless you take a trip to Dr. Miami's house and ask him for the Chad special, which is basically a whole new face structure.
Paid for a facial analysis to see how I could, look better. And just look at what I got. Who is that? This is me. Who is this, bro? They clipped my ears, okay? Eyebrows are the same, gave me a beard, made my ears small, I didn't know I looked like Dumbo.
Unless you're willing to go under the knife, some facial features are stuck with you till the day you die. There's a lot to question about Looksmaxxing techniques and how effective they actually are. More often than not, it's guys who fit the Looksmaxxing beauty standard showing others how they achieve their level 7 Giga Chat status by mewing and bone smashing. You can trust that it works based on the drastic before and after pictures they like to share of their old face from 5 years ago versus their new face. A lot of the content doesn't really go in depth about the science of why these Looksmaxxing techniques work. It's just inspirational Sigma music on top of a montage of their appearance changing over the years, skipping over the hard work part straight to the results. Or it'll be the same talking points regurgitated from every other Looksmaxxing content creator of why you need to start chewing on tires to work out your jaw. Did these people actually change their entire face structure without any plastic surgery? Or did they just lose weight and start taking better care of themselves as their faces got older, while picking up some new flattering selfie angles along the way? Take mewing for instance, the foundation of Chad jaws all around the world. Mewing involves pressing the tongue against the roof of the mouth. The theory is that consistent tongue posture can gradually influence the shape and structure of the jaw, resulting in a more angular and desirable jawline. Some even claim mewing has helped them treat their sleep apnea, speech speech disorders, and sinusitis.
The only difference between a supermodel and a normal person is tongue posture. It sounds nuts, it sounds crazy, but I transformed my face from this to this. I fixed my asymmetry, my overbite, expanded my jaw, developed my face upwards and forwards, balanced out my sleep apnea, fixed my posture, and changed everything from the inside out. And the main key driver was proper tongue posture.
Can mewing also cure my crippling depression and overdrawn bank account? No wonder cats be chilling like that.
This one has a little sweetness to it.
You'll never see a Looksmaxxer not mention mewing at least once during their whole spiel.
Mewing. Mewing is dope, and it's actually required during development. If you have improper tongue posture and improper breathing habits, then you're not going to develop correctly. You could have the best parents in the world, best genetics, but if you've got horrible habits, you won't develop into the best version of yourself. So definitely dope.
This term is so well known because of the Looksmaxxing community, you'll even see mid-tier normies on mainstream media talking about it. Uh-oh, I can't stop with the accent. The crossing of two different worlds, the last thing I want to see is someone my dad's age trying to mog his coworker while explaining what 6'7" means. Alright, so if mewing is this magic cure-all, why do we still have sleep apnea, speech disorders, and sinusitis? The term mewing was coined by, appropriately named, John Mew, who believed in the idea of orthotropics, not to be confused with orthodontics, your braces and dentistry work with centuries of proven research behind it. Orthotropics. What is this, a drink? An alternative medicine approach focused around the mouth and jaw. They believe you can guide natural facial and jaw growth in children by focusing on oral posture using your tongue, mouth, and head position. Alright, can't make a breakthrough in medicine without trying something new. Maybe he's about to find a better way to fix teeth without braces. Well, according to an official statement from the American Association of Orthodontists, scientific evidence supporting mewing's jawline sculpting claims is as thin as dental floss. I would never show my face again if a bunch of dentists got together and started roasting me on the timeline. Sorry to this man, but all your peers are saying the science behind your research is bogus. Traditional orthodontic teaching explains crooked teeth mostly through genetics. We inherit the alignment of our bite from our parents, just as we inherit almost any other trait. John Mew does not believe this. Instead, he sees crooked teeth as a symptom of a sweeping, unrecognized health crisis. Changes in our lifestyle and environment since the 18th century are inducing our jaws to grow small and recessed. John Mew was such a non-believer of proven dental science that in 2017, the General Dental Council revoked his dental license due to his criticism of traditional orthodontic treatments as well as his unconventional beliefs and practices.
The jaw should never get small in the first place.
So the most well-known Looksmaxxing technique is all based on old-ass research with no proven science behind it that somehow went viral? Great! We just brain damage maxed. They're not all bad. There are some Looksmaxxing techniques with a touch of science behind why they work. Carrot maxing, where you can get a natural, beautiful golden tan by eating a bunch of carrots. When you eat at least 5 carrots a day, you'll eventually enter into a state called carotenemia. Basically, your liver won't be able to process all the beta-carotene flooding your system that the orange pigments from the carrots ends up showing on your skin.
Just eat 3 large carrots a day. I've been doing this for years. I don't fake tan anymore. I don't go out during the day in the sunlight, and this is literally my natural skin color. Pale and pink like Peppa Pig. Trust me.
Hey, a free tan and healthy eyes just by eating carrots? That's better than what the healthcare system be offering these days. Ice maxing involves dipping your face into a bowl of ice cold water. The extreme cold is supposed to reduce facial puffiness, treat acne, and give you smooth, tight skin that lets all the cheekbones and jawbones in your face come through. Hey Alexa, can you tell my assistant to bring me a bowl of ice water at 9:09 a.m.? I'm gonna dunk my face into it. Oh, but do it after I dive into the pool at 7:36 a.m. I penciled in landing in the water at 7:40 a.m. The science behind ice maxing is sort of a mixed bag. It does actually reduce puffiness and bags under the eyes, but it's not going to reshape your entire face as some Looksmaxxers like to claim. Ice can definitely boost your skincare routine, but you're going to be disappointed if you think dunking your face in ice water every day is going to clear your acne. And using the same ice roller a famous Looksmaxxer is selling in his bio will give you the same face as them. These are simple beauty routines and beauty hacks women have been doing for centuries, just repackaged into a now for men format.
Icing your face promotes blood flow, which means that there's going to be a lot more oxygen and nutrients flowing through your skin. This helps especially with your eye bag.
Once you get into the sketchier side of Looksmaxxing methods, you'll realize people are just saying whatever at this point. Jump maxing, chew maxing, starve maxing, jelk maxing, goon maxing. How about we Pokemon Goon to the polls and therapy max after? Critical thinking skills are at an all-time low. It's not good when people are promoting bone smashing as a way to change your facial structure. Nothing more Giga Chad than whacking your face with a hammer to sharpen your chin. Even though every health professional is telling people not to do this, videos with the tag bone smashing tutorial have garnered over 267.7 million views on TikTok.
And then smash my zygos so that they grow. Yes.
Okay. This cannot be normal.
Should you pursue bone smashing to get a stronger jaw? I don't recommend hitting yourself in the face with a hammer. The idea here is that the mechanical stress from the blunt trauma is going to build stronger bones, but that's not exactly how this works. Yes, mechanical stressors from walking, for example, do play a vital role in bone strength, but blunt trauma is not the way to get it. That's simply not going to build up stronger bones. Furthermore, this can leave you disfigured, potentially requiring surgeries that cause scarring. Yeah, it can really be a nightmare.
At this point, everyone's gonna show up to the function with lumpy faces, looking like a ran through gravel road. There is a whole side of the Looksmaxxing industry that's filled with get-rich-quick schemes by spreading misinformation, usually targeting young men with low self-esteem. These accounts that claim to help you reach your full potential could care less about their audience. You got an insecurity, that's profit for them, and sometimes it'd really be your own people. This teenager was using AI filters to Looksmax himself into a high-tier Chad Light to sell Looksmaxxing products, which he claims to have sold a lot of because of these beauty filters. Mewing not doing enough for your jawline? Try Chew Cube's Jaw Gum. The pitch is essentially resistance training for your jaw. By chewing on ultra tough pieces of gum every day, you activate the masseter muscle found in the side of your cheek that helps you chew, leading to a more defined jaw. The funny thing about working out muscles, if you paid attention in class, they don't get slimmer the more you use them, they actually get bigger. So these gum chewers are unintentionally bulking up their jaw muscles and looking more bloated with every chew, and are probably on a fast track to developing a case of TMJ. Too much jaw. If we take a look at this brand of hard-ass chewing gum, their website looks pretty legit. But when you scroll down and see who the trusted experts are, it's Mike Mew, the son of John Mew. Remember, the guy who lost his dental license and got bodied by a bunch of lame-ass dentists? I apologize, nothing personal if you're a dentist. Got a lot of trauma from dentists I gotta work through. And not to mention this website using quotes from news articles and labeling them as positive reviews, when in fact, these articles never mentioned the brand once, they just talked about the Looksmaxxing gum trend. TikTokers push facial gum for chiseled jaws. Facial fitness gum is designed to be very hard to chew. Water is wet. Look at this one. Within 5 minutes, my jaw was sore. For how misogynistic and homophobic the Looksmaxxing community can be, I don't know guys, sounds a little oop.
What you said? Queen.
You really can't have a toxic community thrive these days without some sort of figurehead. Oh, and side note, if you made it here after that huge crash course on Looksmaxxing, yay! You probably now have an idea of what someone at the top of the Looksmaxxing food chain would look like, and how they would act. That's where Clavicular comes in. A 20-year-old influencer who, over the past year, has become as popular as he is divisive.
How old?
I'm 24.
Okay.
26.
Oh. I'm over.
Oh my god.
When he's not busy saying slurs while streaming on Kick and running people over with his car, he's most known as the Looksmaxxing final boss.
I would say Sydney Sweeney is very attractive.
I would say that she's pretty malformed. Her upper maxilla is extremely recessed, right? She's got the eyes of doom with no infraorbital support. She's really not that much of a looker in her face. I think that she's above average in looks, but certainly not that you know.
No, you said she's got a sunken suborbital, I forget the words that you said.
Yeah, she's got a recessed infraorbitals and a recessed upper maxilla.
You're telling me you go to a bar.
I'm just saying she's not the pinnacle of looks that I'm talking about to actually succeed on social media. She's average to above average.
Bro, I don't think this is how real life works. You can't just stand there in silence and mog people like in your selfies. Unfortunately, you do have to talk and use brain when interacting with others, which seems to be working against the perfect image he portrays online. No riz, no charm. Just regurgitating the same Reddit talking points like they mean anything at all.
Just a 6 out of 10? Really?
Bruh.
Maybe even a 6.25. This tan photo.
Also, I'm surprised he just turned 20. I know there's a stereotype of Gen Z looking old. Gen Z is so obsessed with intense beauty rituals, they're trading in their youth for these gaunt, model-esque looking faces, which they might end up regretting in the future when they look 50 at 30. Clavicular was literally a kid not that long ago. He's talked about how both his parents are bodybuilders and how his job as a club bouncer at 17, where he watched how attractive men and women interacted, shaped how he sees men, women, and relationships. Around 16, he found his place on Looksmaxxing.org, where he became very popular. He claims to have started using steroids as young as 14, and is very open about his use of human growth hormone, along with other substances to help suppress his appetite to stay lean, like ADHD medications he calls a street drug. Let's just say he's not doing math.
2 weeks ago, I was doing math like pretty much every day.
His body is so messed up now, Clavicular can't even produce his own testosterone anymore. The Looksmaxxing stuff we talked about before is baby mode compared to what Clavicular does to maintain his appearance.
What drugs do you take in a day? I'm taking testosterone every single day. I take minoxidil for my hair. I take dutasteride for my hair. I take 7.5 milligrams of Accutane a day. I use crystal meth as a stimulant and Tolene Max. It's much more mild than Adderall actually, and I'm pretty much using meth for hollow cheeks.
What happened to eating healthy and going to the gym 3 times a week? Is it that serious? With a role model like this, no wonder teens getting into Looksmaxxing are spiking their juice boxes with extra tea before heading to class.
Oh my god. Time and place.
As a 15-year-old, you don't gotta have the sharpest jawline in your macaroni school group project. Collecting all the facial features that make you a Chad isn't gonna make you popular unless you develop proper social skills too, which probably won't happen if you think this is a normal way to talk to people.
So she got a 3.5. Why and how can she improve?
Well, her mid face is way too long. Obviously, she's got the jowls coming in, horrible nasolabial folds. Horrible total facial width to height ratio, just really bad age indicators, but obviously at 30, that's not something really that's going to surprise me. Her upper maxilla is super recessed, horrible infraorbitals. That's why your under eyes are coming in like hell. Really recessed chin.
Maybe focus on being a kid for a little while longer. Go play Fortnite with your friends. I'll even buy you some V-Bucks. Just put down the selective androgen receptor modulators, bro. SARMs are super common within the Looksmaxxing community. They think it's some sort of cheat code that helps them masculine max all their features. These are chemical substances that mimic the effects of testosterone and anabolic steroids that pretty much anyone can buy from unregulated websites. It's actually illegal in the US to sell SARMs for human use, so companies resort to calling them peptides instead. Gives them some plausible deniability that they're being sold for research purposes only. And of course, these aren't approved by the FDA, who set a warning back in 2017 that using these can increase the risk of heart attack, stroke, and life-threatening reactions like liver damage. Clavicular doesn't really tell his audience to follow what he does because of how extreme his methods can be, but he does contradict himself a lot with his actions, like when he did a little peptide top-up on his girlfriend's face to Looksmaxx her, who was a minor at the time.
I think that I'm crazy.
Chat, we're Looksmaxxing her. We're Looksmaxxing her. It's all good.
We're the parents. We need an adult. Girl, if you don't get out of that boy's room and go play with Polly Pockets, let's go get our ears pierced at Claire's. My treat. You know, it really is that damn phone causing everyone to be chopped in the head. Spending all your time online or farming doesn't automatically translate to charismatic, magnetic person in real life. You're gonna turn yourself into the guy standing in the corner at a party, villain monologuing. Disgusting. These subhuman normies. They don't even know I'm a Chad Light with hunter eyes. Intimidated? Of course you are. It's not every day you're graced with seeing a level 5 PSL high tier normie. My name is Patrick Bateman. I'm 27 years old. I believe in taking care of myself and a balanced diet and rigorous exercise routine. Alright, who invited the psycho? Wanting to improve your physical appearance to look your best is normal behavior. I mean, we got eyes for a reason. But if Looksmaxxing becomes your one and only personality trait, yikes. Don't think it's worth turning into a hot person if you're gonna be left with worms for brains, whose only interests are chewing blocks of rubber and bone smashing. Let's Pokemon go outside, Max, and stop listening to weirdos on the internet. Have a good day, try not to be dumb, and see you in the next one.